I want to do similar work. I want to share my gifts with the world, but I'm so scared. I'm so scared that my intuition tells me, like it just blocks me, stops me, things aren't going to be okay. And this is something that I want to touch on, that this is so important when it comes to fear and intuition. It's something that I teach a lot now. And I feel like, you could really resonate with this talking about fear, is that a lot of the times the intuitive nudges that we feel, it's not our intuition. If it's coming from fear, it's actually a defense mechanism. And because our nervous system may be dysregulated because of trauma that may have happened in childhood. And when I say trauma, it can literally be a parent screaming with you and that create a trauma. It doesn't have to be anything huge. And it can be also ancestral. We all have it, no exceptions, or maybe a very minor, tiny exception of humans. And that will create us, and then our intuition and our fear patterns, they get enmeshed. So I can give you an example. I was traveling overseas a lot in the last couple of months, and I had all these changes happen to my trip. I was actually meant to go to Las Vegas for a podcast interview, and then it didn't work out. And I remember thinking, this is funny, it was so hot in Las Vegas. And I remember thinking, I don't want to go to Vegas. Seriously, it's too hot to go there right now. I'll go there another time. It's not my vibe. I'm more of a nature girl.
Mhm.
And so I remember thinking I wanted to go to Brazil instead, but then I would have to leave the States, go back into the States so that I could make my way back to Australia. And somehow I had this fear. If I do that, they're going to question me so much at immigration. Something's going to go wrong. Where is this fear coming from? I had no visa problems. I have an Australian passport, can come in and out in America with no problems. But I had this fear that I've had a long, long time ago, or that ancestors have, or that others have. It wasn't even my fear. And I almost did not go to Brazil because I was certain, my intuition was telling me that if I did, I wasn't going to be able to go back into America again to then make my way back to Australia. And I remember it was just almost this irrational fear. And I was about to make the decision. I spoke with a friend who is also a trans channel, and she helped me see beyond. She's like, Rubia, you are so guided. No matter what
Yeah.
happens, everything is going to be okay. You're not going to go and see your family. You're just around the corner from them. Why not? And I remember thinking, wow, where did this fear come from? Anyway, I did go to Brazil. Everything worked out. Went back to America, but came back to Australia. No problems at all. So I was so certain. And I love sharing that story because one, it happened recently. And two, so that people see that it can happen to anyone, even me that teach about channeling and intuition. Because fear, we are constantly purging it. And when we take that for me, it's given me, doing what I did has given me a whole new layer and a whole new level of confidence in myself, in life, and a lot more trust and faith in what's going to unfold. So taking more risks, because a lot of the times what I think is just my intuition guiding me.
That story resonates so brilliantly with me. And I do tell people no matter how much you do this work and how much you know and the tools you have, it doesn't really disappear completely. You're going to have those moments. But what's super cool about those moments now is they don't last long for me. And I lived with a lot of anxiety all my life because I was picking up on other energies. I had mediumship abilities I didn't realize I had. So I'm getting all this information, but I'm so confused, growing up. So lived in a lot of anxiety. And I did a lot of work in neuroscience, and which catapulted my metaphysical side, my intuition. And what I found was I still get anxious, I still can get fearful, but it dissipates really quickly and it makes sense. And I also say about intuition, if it's guided intuition that's coming into you, it's going to support you. It's not going to be mean. It's not going to be judgmental. It's just going to be information that whispers in through you. Can you share with us what happened, what you did to me or with me or my soul accepted? What happened during your dark night of the human?
I love hearing that so much. You did share with me via email and messages, and but now hearing you say that, it just, oh, my heart. I was like, I had tears in my eyes. It warms my heart. Like, this is why I do this. Look at this. The ripple effects of the healing and of change and transformation. It's like known and unknown. So I love that. Um, what we did, I am pretty sure the session you had, it's what I call quantum transformational breakthrough. So it's a DNA. It's like a healing that it works on a DNA level because you have your um, energetic. So I'm working on your energy field, and your energy field is everywhere. So when I work with this quantum breakthrough on a DNA level, I'm working on the energy field of the DNA, and it is magical as you experience. I've had countless and countless and countless incredible stories of healing and transformation that is not just overnight. For a lot of people, I've had multiple people 6 months to a year later say, "Oh my God, all of this happened throughout this time," or "This one big event happened throughout this time." And so, what we're doing is when I do that work, what I do is I and how I got into that work is because my mission was never working, right?
Mhm,
And heard a woman speak about it, the unconscious patterns that rule our life, the unconscious patterns that we create to protect us. So they come from fear. And for me, there was a lot of scarcity. If I make money on a spiritual business, people are going to judge me. No one will like me, and I'm going to die alone. That was the unconscious belief, the core belief on an unconscious level. I wasn't thinking that every on my day to day life. But when I had the session with her, we discovered all of these unconscious patterns that I picked up from childhood, from childhood trauma, but they are also that I got from my family members, from ancestors, ancestral fear. And sometimes most a lot of people get what I'm explaining, but some people are a bit shocked, like, what do you mean? Like, and but that's what it is. I explained what I'm explaining to you one day to a friend for about 30 minutes. And then in the end he said, "But okay, but what do I do so that I can make more money?" I said, "Everything I just explained to you." So it's working on the patterns. Why? Because
mhm,
honestly, it's normal of the human to want something easier. And I have to say from personal experience, some people, if for you, Sandy, for example, you probably work on yourself for a long, long time. You had leadership abilities. You've done a lot of work already. So when someone like you has that session, you will have incredible transformation. Someone that's never worked on themselves, that just watches YouTube videos and say that they're spiritual, it's very they can have results, but very minor. So much so that I've closed my calendar. I'm not taking sessions anymore, only by application, so that I can filter to see if I can actually serve them at the highest. So we're working on a DNA level, going back to answer your question, and we are finding the pattern. We want to find what it is, and then what I did, like I start to change that pattern, and I bring through what I call downloads. So I ask you permission to remove certain patterns from your field, from your DNA,
mhm,
and to download instead patterns that are more in alignment. For example, uh, do you remove the belief I am unworthy and download instead the belief I am worthy. And as I said, the belief it's on an unconscious level because most of us feel worthy and think we're worthy, but when you check on an unconscious level, we don't. And that's Carl, is it Carl Jung that said, until you make your unconscious conscious,
mhm.
it will rule your life and you call it fate. And basically that phrase, that sentence from Carl Jung describes the work that I do. I make the conscious conscious so that you can then create your soul aligned reality. Because until then, what you're doing, you're creating your reality based on a number of unconscious fears that you don't even know that are there.
Do you feel that it was something that, well, obviously your soul had to do that. It had to just stop you in your tracks because you have a lot of work to do, a lot of positive work for the world, and it had to kind of recalibrate you. Do you think that's what happened?
100%. Because I experienced burnout as well. So I was experiencing burnout because I couldn't do anything. I didn't care about this work. I thought maybe it was this work that did that to me. I went to like Christian church and I went to Catholic church, Christian church. My Christian friends were trying to convert me. You did this channel thing is not good, get out of that word. And I seriously thought about it. I remember thinking, I just want to be a normal person and live a normal life. And that's it. I don't want this channeling word, nothing to do with this anymore. But obviously it didn't work. I was like, I've experienced too much. I love it and I'm passionate about it. It was fear.